Welcome to The Invite, a podcast where we gather around real conversations with friends inspired by our faith. Join me as I invite you in on the conversation. Hey everyone, welcome to The Invite. I'm Maggie, joined with my sister Lavinia. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Maggie?
I am doing good. So today we're going to be talking about pregnancy, all things pregnancy and how it's going. Thank God right now I am not pregnant. Or is enough. I think my cup is full. But you are, and we are excited to know, hear, learn about your experience. How has it been? Did you expect? All that good stuff. But before we jump into the exciting things about what's going on with you in your pregnancy right now, I want to ask you, you are newlywed. How is that going?
Wow. When you put newlywed and pregnancy together, it's like this is a lot going
I
on.
know that's a whole lot.
Yeah, it's a whole lot, but I thank God it's been as smooth as it can be, considering all the other factors that have been at play. But so far, 10 months in, so good.
10 months. I was wondering, I was like, I know you haven't made it to that 1 year yet, and you're 10 months 10 months married. And how much months pregnant
I
are you?
am. I'm 9. Yeah, I'm 9.
9. So that was right away, like that you had a baby so soon. I'm like,
Yeah.
listen, and that was always my thing. I never wanted kids, period. And then
Mm,
having a baby in my first year of marriage, that was a lot too. So I understand. But I had a little bit of time, but I still was like, what?
right.
Baby? Huh? So did you expect to have, be pregnant so soon? Or you didn't mind? Like, what was your expectations or your feelings towards it?
Did I expect to have a baby so soon? No. How do I feel about it? I feel I feel like it's happened at the right time, strangely. Like how things
Nice.
have fallen into place. I think God has a plan. So even though it
That's so
wasn't
good.
necessarily what I thought it would go like, I wouldn't change it. Would you?
Yeah, amen. I love that. I love it.
Mhm.
So, like before marriage, did you desire kids and how many if you did?
Yeah. Before marriage, I was that girl who wanted like 20 kids. I was that girl. Very maternal, loved children, pretended I was pregnant when I was, like 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's always been a dream. Um,
Aw,
I think it's slightly changed the amount of children, if God blesses me, I'd like to have. Definitely not 20, that's
I
for sure.
know.
But
Oh man, you sound like my daughter. She is so interested in you because when I told her you're a midwife, she's like, I want to be. Like, she's like, let me know. She wants to have like a whole conversation with you one day and just because she wants to be a doula
oh, lovely.
or a midwife. She's like, maybe a doula first for a while and then be a midwife and a lactation consultant. Anything to do with babies, moms, helping them. Her desire, her love started from since she was like 2. She loved baby stuff. So I was like, we have to set up a day for you to talk to her because that's
Yeah.
definitely she lights up.
Oh,
So
that's
like
lovely. Very like me.
I so I'm like when I hear you say that, I'm like, man, that's so crazy because that's my daughter all day as a
Mm,
kid. She loves everything motherhood, and then it makes sense that you went into the field.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
Do you think that prepared you in a way for your pregnancy? Do you feel like it prepared you knowing like being all around babies and to kind of understand the body and all that? Or you feel like it's maybe an advantage in your pregnancy?
Yeah, I think it's definitely been a plus. It obviously helps me to follow a conversation that I have with my midwife now because I know
Yeah.
where she's coming from. Um, Now I'm getting towards the end. It's a little bit more not a drawback because knowledge can never be a drawback, but I guess because I have a lot of insider, knowledge, it can make me feel a little bit like, oh, I know what could happen. I know what could go wrong. So it's like a daily work to not have the negatives that I know could happen be in my mind. It's
Yeah.
helped overall, definitely.
I know. That's so good. I love that because I really had no knowledge. I never desired children, never wanted it.
Mm,
So didn't
interesting.
care. Yes, listen. I kind of think I talked about it in this podcast. I don't remember if I did, but just briefly, like I had this blood issue from since I was a child, like 16, like what was it, 15. And so I got on birth control because the doctor's like, you can't have babies because I don't get regular periods and stuff like that. So I was like, fine, that was good. I didn't want kids anyway, and then not having them, amen. So in my life before Christ, life before Christ, I have done things where, and I've never been pregnant. So I was like, praise God, I did not want, I'm so happy.
Right.
Like I never, so when me and my husband got married, we were like, cool, like no kids, that's fine. We'll be missionaries and just that was fine. So when my first year anniversary, I went out to eat for our anniversary
Mhm.
and I couldn't eat my favorite food. I'm like, what happened? And then I took a test and I'm pregnant. Cannot
Wow.
believe this. So I was like, Lord, this is so crazy. I'm not happy. Like I literally was not happy. I was not. Like I never desired kids. So God had to help me change my heart. And then I welcomed it and the rest is history. Then I was like, now I'm like, I'm extreme. Like one way I don't want it. Now I have it. I'm all in. Let's have as
Yeah.
many as we should. Like, cause I'm like all in kids. Like I just can't see my life without it. I am excited. I love them. So it's different. Like I have changed so much in that area, but it's so good to see like people who desired and are having kids because you don't have to go through that mental stress of getting
Mm,
over like those feelings because it's just not. I wish I never had that extreme
mm,
desire to not have it because I have to work through that still, like even though I love kids and stuff, but the inner me, it's like
mm,
never desired this. So I'm like, love to pick people brains who have desired. You dreamt it forever, like desired to be pregnant, and now you're pregnant. So how has your pregnancy been for you? Like first, what did you expect pregnancy to be for you? I mean, of
yeah.
course, you never know, but like just your thoughts since you thought about those things before.
Yeah. Um, there's two parts to that, right? What did I expect it to be like, and then how has it actually been?
Yeah,
It's funny because although I always, wanted to have a family and be a mom and do the whole traditional thing, I don't think
yeah,
I spent a lot of time thinking about what the experience would be like for me. I kind of just thought, I'd get married at some point. Marriage was never like I need to be married by this point. Like for me,
yeah,
I never had that like pressure or feeling of like I need to do this or pray to the Lord continuously about it. Um, but in terms of pregnancy, I just kind of thought, whenever I get married, I'd try and keep myself healthy, and thus it will make the rest of the process of pregnancy easier. Now,
yeah,
now I am was pregnant when I found out I was pregnant. Um, it must have been the first like 24 weeks. Most of the pregnancy has been pretty. I don't want to say terrible, but it's been hard. I definitely had all the sickness very early on, the nausea, the staying in bed for days, not eating for days. So it
yeah,
was a great like wake up to wow, this is also what could happen in pregnancy, not just the lovely baby at the end, but actually the process, yeah, to becoming a mother isn't as easy as I thought it would be for me. So
yeah,
that was definitely something I was not expecting. I don't know why I didn't think it would be me. I've seen women very sick who are like, like maybe it's they've not had good nutrition before, and it's nothing to do with that, by the way. Just
yeah,
like viewers and people who are listening,
yeah,
it's very much one of those things that you just don't know if you'll have an easier
yeah.
pregnancy or a more challenging one. But mine was definitely more challenging at the beginning.
I understand. I definitely see like I didn't had a thought about it as well. And then now going through those pregnancies, all my pregnancies has been great, but
Oh, great.
after birth,
Mm,
not so great. So it's like maybe I'll choose the beginning. because the ending was terrible. So it's like I don't know which one you want to choose. Because then hopefully by God's grace you have a good beginning. I mean, a terrible beginning, but the ending is just beautiful. Because for
Yeah.
me, after birth, after the sedation, I started to develop all the kind of problems that you would just have from after birth, and that was like on a higher level than my pregnancy. Most of the times I even forgot I was pregnant feeling, but then
Wow.
after I can forget that I just had a baby at all. It was no forget.
There
So
was no.
yeah, that was totally different. So that's so cool. Like for you, did like what made you go into the field of becoming a midwife?
So, aside from being, very maternal and loving children,
Yeah.
um, that's a story in and of itself. How I became a midwife because I was on a different path completely. I wanted to go into like finance and, be like a corporate girl. I don't know how
Ah,
that, looking back, how I thought that would marry up with the traditional life that I wanted ultimately.
yeah.
I think when you're younger, you just want to, at least I did then, want to explore all my talents and find like a place where I feel would be the most challenge, for me. So that's why I thought
Mm-hmm.
finance would be a good route for me. But anyhow, God worked things out where a lot of doors closed in that area. Um, and then I just prayed a lot and got a lot of people's input, really, what like skills and talents they saw in me, and midwife came
Ah,
up. And then I'm like, oh, I did want to be a midwife when I was younger, so this is like a full circle moment, if I could say,
yeah.
where I was like, yeah, I
That
think
makes,
like
oh
this.
man, that's so cool. Like that's really good. I love that. If you asked me before children, what would I want to be? It'll be totally different from like after kids. Like I have a whole different
Right.
view of life and stuff. So, but that's beautiful. That's really
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. I'm very excited like to see how it is. Like for me, my first time, my first baby, I didn't have a midwife, but then, and then the second baby, I didn't have a midwife. But the two last ones, I had midwives, and I really, really see a difference. And I enjoyed like having that. So I really, I knew about it, but my services I had at the time, I couldn't get it in Alabama. It was crazy. It
Mm-hmm.
didn't, you couldn't actually have a midwife until when I had my second baby, sorry, second baby, they made it legal.
Interesting.
So yeah, so within that time, I mean, the year before having my baby, being pregnant, they made it legal. So was able to get the first midwife that was legal in our state. So yeah, so
Wow.
it was. So I enjoy everything midwife, baby, pregnancy, and even what are your like? Just even like a quick question I'll ask because what are your thoughts on like a doula? Like, would you think you need one with a
Mm-hmm.
midwife, or you're just like, ah, I just good with a midwife?
Yeah, I've considered a doula. Um, I haven't gone down that route this time. Maybe if I have another child, I would explore that. But mostly because I've been new to the state, so I didn't really know um, exactly how things work. Because it's like you kind of alluded to at the beginning. I've got
Yeah.
married recently. I've moved to a new country. My voice obviously
Yes.
shows that I'm not from the States. So it's been a lot of navigation. So part of it has been the reason why I've not had a doula this time is because of just still figuring out how the system works, but definitely looking at
Yeah,
next time, if there's a next time.
I know, right?
It will
I
be.
understand. Like I can relate because I'm not from here. So
Mm-hmm.
coming in, like being married only a year and then having a baby. Like for me, I moved to America 1 month before getting married. So we have
Wow.
similar, you know, moving here. I visited here a whole lot. But there's nothing like visiting is like you're on vacation, you're in a hotel, you here for a purpose,
Right.
go. But now like living here is totally
Different.
different. So yeah, moving here that month right before marriage, that was a lot to to say, like really like living in United States is different. So I
Yeah.
understand. Like I feel the same way because I didn't know a lot of how the ins and outs here, like for this part and this part of the country, because we lived in
Mm-hmm.
Arizona, then we moved to Alabama, so there was just a lot different. And so you said like pregnancy was not that good in the beginning. How is it right now for you?
Yeah, it's worlds apart. It's much better. I feel like I'm
That's so good.
enjoying it a lot more.
Yeah.
Taking advantage of all the things I felt like I hibernated for a good 6 months. So it's nice. It is nice. I'll definitely. I was gonna say miss being pregnant. Maybe not that far, but
Yes.
still a bit scarred from the first 6 months. But no, it's miles better. Feeling him move. I'm just giving away the gender. Yes, it's a boy.
Yes.
But yeah, much better, much better.
Do you have a name? You don't have to tell us. Just want to know if you have a name yet.
Yes, we have a name.
Good.
Yeah, so we're good to go in that department.
That's so good. Like our first boy, it took a while for us to like, well,
Mm-hmm.
not that long, but we got a name.
Mm-hmm.
Second, it took us like almost up to the delivery time to have one. Third, forget it. We just like names. It was so hard to agree on what names because I like a certain type of names and he likes these types. So we're just like on two different pages when it comes to names. So we
Mm-hmm.
had to. So I was like, listen, you name them, and I'll be as long as I'm okay with. But I'll be more okay with what you say than my name. He's like, no way. So
Mm-hmm.
we got to the middle ground after many prayers and time and thinking and reading the word and trying to figure out because we wanted all Bible names.
Right.
So yeah, and then I did the middle names. So yeah, we
Oh,
just kind of did
that's a
it
good
that way
system. Mm-hmm. That's
because
a good
we couldn't agree on what name. So I love that people can actually come up with a name. Because that's not my thing in especially with boys. I would like if I had a lot of girls, I think it
Mm,
would be more it'll be easier for me.
yeah, I feel
Boy
the same
names. That was so cool. Did you desire like biblical names or like family names or what was your thing?
way. Yeah. Um. So his name is actually a biblical name, but it's also a name that's already in a family. So it meets
Okay.
like both of the criterias. But I don't necessarily have a preference for either. Although if I was to like lean towards one, a biblical name is always like
Yeah.
a nice thing to give to your child. I think.
Yeah. I'm more like meaning name and then
Yes.
yeah, for me it was like meaning because all our kids tells a story in their name. So, what part of motherhood are you most excited about?
Mm, good question. Apart from all of it,
I know, right?
probably God willing, the whole journey of breastfeeding. I'm most looking forward to. Right, at least right now. I know there's a whole aspect of life after breastfeeding, as the child grows, but the most immediate thing is that experience breastfeeding him.
Aw, that's so nice. I know you have way more like knowledge than me. I would have had coming in. So
Mm,
I struggled so much with breastfeeding, but I did it, but it was such a struggle.
yeah.
Ah, so now hearing you say that, I'm like, praise God, you actually look forward to that. Because I really like in my mind, I'm thinking like just put baby to breast is gonna be
Mm,
fine. It's just gonna move on. Like didn't think about the struggles that breastfeeding comes with. I just like, yeah, they're just gonna feed. They're gonna eat. Like I equated like the way you feed a person with a bottle and how easy it is in a sense would be breastfeeding. I didn't have like the what it means, the struggles and all the different things and how my body even came naturally that would affect my breastfeeding process. And it's like, I would not think that this is gonna be this way. So
yeah.
yeah, like one major thing is my like just I mean this might be TMI to people, but I mean it's ladies that are gonna listen. Just like the way how my nipple is flat. So I just couldn't that was
Mm,
so that was so hard. Like how do I figure out that and how to do the and just getting it to work it was not easy at
mm.
all. Like, so that was just different. Like, that was hard. So, hearing you say that, like, that's a blessing because I was like, mm-mm, nah. But every time I'm like, I'm gonna breastfeed. We're gonna make this work. And we did.
No, it's Maggie that it's really common. Breastfeeding is not easy at all. It
Mm-mm.
it's not just as easy, like you said, as bring the baby, put him here or her. and then you're good to go. There's supply issues.
Yeah,
There's, like you said, if the anatomy of your, every woman's breast is different, and that could make it easier or harder. There's sore
yeah,
nipples. There's just so much to contend.
yeah, so
So
much. But thank God you got an idea already, so you know how, to go about those life. Because I really was like struggling. And where we lived at the time, the resources was like, we didn't really know how to. But where we're at now, oh man, it's so much more resource. So it was so much more help, so much more things. And I'm like, wow, yeah. So I got a lot of help. I got a lot of knowledge since the first. So the second and third was much easier. And the
mm,
fourth was not as easy. And it wasn't due to anything me because I learned how to deal with me, but
right.
he was allergic to everything,
Oh,
literally. So everything I'm eating and he's getting and he's like rejecting the milk. And I'm like, what happened? He's allergic to soy. He's allergic to nuts. And which I would think he was allergic to nuts, so I stayed away from nuts. But soy, and he's allergic to cow's milk, which is fine. But when we couldn't get him to feed, I'm like, what do we do? So we try to give him formula, and most of the formula has soy in it. He
right.
rejected that. So we're like, what? And then the doctor's looking at us like, and we looking at him like, I don't know what to do. So we tried even like regular cow's milk. And of course not, because he is allergic to that too. So it's like, what do we give this child? So he was struggling bad. He was literally like he was in and out of the hospital a lot. He was struggling. So it was hard. So then we figure out, yeah, let's get a test done. He got to be allergic to a lot of stuff. So let's make sure. And then we found P's formula. P's. So that helps him.
Mm, mm.
So I breastfed him for, you know, some months before we realized like something is wrong. So yeah,
Wow, that's a journey.
I know. And then he came in the world
Yeah.
his interest was a big entrance. And it's like, boy, you just came in. So that's how I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah, I've done my part.
I said, yes. Oh, and listen, all the other ones like made it seem like life is so easy because my birth experience was quick. And then
Mm,
this one is long and so many complications.
mm.
And then he came to the world with complicated. Like I was like, no, you can't get. It could get worse, but I don't want to see the worst. I think we're
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
So we wanted four, and we kept that four, and we're like satisfied with four. So
Mhm,
prayerfully, this is how that's life. But I love kids. I love kids. So
mm,
it's not that I like never would want any more kids. I just know that I just don't want to birth any more kids.
mm.
So
No,
yeah,
I think four is, you've done amazing.
that
Any more you want to do is also amazing. But if you're happy with four, God's given you
I
four.
know.
Wonderful.
How about you? Do you have like a number like I want three, but if this is my max, or you just like I don't know, it's my max.
Yeah, I think four is my max. I would be happy with three. But four would be like Lord,
Yeah,
help me.
I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah.
No, I knew. I always thought three. I never would want three. Like that's not so odd. Like I want, I don't know why I felt three was like, nah, not
Mm,
for me. But now that I have four, I'm like, listen, I understand the wisdom in three, but I didn't see it before.
before, yeah. It sounds a
Yes,
little bit like odd, doesn't it? Three. I know
yes,
what
it's
you
very
mean.
odd.
Like, let's just
It's
even it out. But
Yes. And I love the even out part of it now. I see it so
yeah,
well. Like I love it. Because if it was third three in our dynamic, it would be off. Because the two small ones, they play so well together. The two big ones, perfect together. If they had that third one, they would leave him out so much
mm,
because they're so old. Like they're two peas in a pod. And he's like,
yeah,
but that little one he wants somebody to play with. Well, the middle one needs somebody too. So he just plays so well. So that two right
mm,
now, that dynamics is perfect. Even
yeah,
though it's like two means more, like a bigger car, means a lot more like space in the house because three could kind of fit better. But even with all that, it really is true. Like it works better. I see now with the four because they are great together. The two small
yeah,
ones and then two big ones. It's literally the built-in friend that they need at the time that
yeah.
they need it. So it's great where it's like that. But now that I have the two, I see how two would have been perfect because them two is like great, great built-in friends. And then the extra two is just like they're extra two good friends. But if I just had the two, that would be perfect friends. But I love that all. It's not like, like not wanting to, but I'm just saying like in the friendship area of how they handle themselves right now, and just knowing like how they're older than the two others, so I don't have to worry much about them. The other two is the ones I gotta be like looking at, like doing something like this, leaving them to themselves. It's so much easier. The bigger two, it's like that's easy. But now it's like I gotta kind of start over. But it's all good. I'm loving it. The
Mm-hmm.
process.
Yeah, it sounds like a
So
fun enough for your family.
it is it's fun. Are you considering like having them closer together? Are you like 3 years apart, 2 years apart? What's your desire? Even though the Lord does, your
Right.
body and everything different, but your desire would be
Yeah, I know I would like them closer together. I just don't know yet the interval
yeah,
between them all.
yeah.
I'd like them to like be in the age range where they have commonalities and like they have a friend and it's
Mm-hmm.
not so, spaced out. Yeah, I think after this birth we'll see how this one goes and I'll figure out okay which interval sounds nice.
Yeah, I feel you. I
Mm.
like that. I always
Mine's
wanted them close
wondering.
together too.
Yeah. I don't know if it's the same with what you experienced with your husband, but I know my husband would like them. Yeah, he hasn't actually specified, to be fair, how close, but I know he also is about like getting it all out of the way, as it
Yeah,
were.
I know. That
Yeah.
that's so true. And are you the only child?
No, I have a one sibling who isn't
Oh,
any children. So I'm the first to go down this
okay.
path of parenthood. Mm.
Oh, okay. It's a boy or girl, he said you
It's
have.
a boy. Sorry, I've got an older brother.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. I have one sibling too, and it's a boy. But I'm
Yeah.
not first, I'm last. We're like 1 year apart. So,
Oh,
yes. We were
same,
super
similar.
close growing up.
Mm.
But I always wanted a sister.
Yes.
So it's
So
like,
did I. It's so
oh
funny.
man, I know. So then I had my daughter first, and she just comes out wanting a sister so bad. I'm like, girl, like how you want?
Just
Like
like
I'm
you.
just like, we want other kids, so we're gonna make sure we get another kid sometime soon. And we planned Joshua to be like born in October as well with her. And now I'm looking back, I said that sounds good on paper, but this October and they're bigger. I should have spent like this expense of birthday. I'm
Yeah.
like, maybe I should have. We thinking it'll be so fun there together, but no, it ain't that close. So then they have separate birthdays, and I'm like, that's too much money spending in 1 month. So we need to spread this out. So I'm
That's
like,
really that's interesting that you planned like what month you want them to be born in.
yeah, I did.
I should have done that.
I'm like,
Maybe
listen, we
next time.
planned, we want, and we tried for the others to be born in October too, but it didn't happen. So well, and then but they were born way earlier.
Mm.
We're like, okay, but that's fine. But we were planning. But then I'm so thankful. God knew. He was like, dude, you guys don't know what you want. You don't know because if we had that, it would just be one birthday. We would not this whole separate. Like before, we ain't thinking that deep about the expenses and
Right.
stuff. Cause like, yeah, we'll have birthdays together. But now I see how it's like, it's better to have it separate because they're like the 10th and the 22nd, and they just have different desires. And we
Mm.
we make it really modest. It's not no
Right.
extravagant or anything. It's like they wanted to do something fun, and one of the things like go to the aquarium or like go to a zoo or go to like a trampoline park, and then and like to this really cool farm, just stuff like that. And that's what we do. But anyway, but yes. What so it's November is your due date, right? Month.
Yeah. Yeah. And then November.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
November. Oh wow. It is coming up. I'm excited
It
for you.
is.
I just wish I could be there and hold your baby. With love. Like that first, couple of months, how much like people need that assistance or that help or just that load taken off their shoulder. So I wish you
Mm.
were closer. It would have been fun.
It would have been much appreciated, but we can do verbal support.
I
Um,
know, right? Yes. Yeah, sometimes you just need to talk through
yeah.
all the different emotions and experiences that you're gonna feel
Yeah.
after like birthing a child. How I never really realized like um postpartum depression is so real.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, yeah, that sounds good over there. But like when experiencing it, I was like, wow, I didn't prepare at all for that.
Mm, mm. How do you prepare for that? It's so hard, isn't it? Like you just it's hormones, so you never know what way your hormones are gonna get, gonna
I
go.
know.
It's gonna, go
Yeah.
too low. There's some certain hormones and sort of trigger that
Yeah.
to happen. Hard.
I didn't like for my first I didn't have no thought of that. So I was just like deep in a state of depression for the first part. And then I realized like how I could work through those things. And so my second, third, and fourth, it was much easier because I knew what to expect. And I knew
Yeah.
the triggers. Even though it wasn't like changed and perfect, but I knew how to at least work through it a little better and like do things to help, bring my mood up and stuff. So I had to work around it. I learned over time. I didn't know. And so it wasn't perfect like at all, but it was so much better than the first time, like not even having any kind of strategy or any kind of help or any kind of support in what to do and stuff. So yeah, I mean that in itself is just a stressful situation without any support. And thankfully, we all have loving husbands that are gonna,
Yeah.
help with that because it plays a lot when it comes to like your husband being there and helping.
Mm.
You can't do it alone, and that's a blessing that we have wonderful husbands. I was looking at you guys from afar, like man, when I heard you guys courting and all, like oh, yeah, I really it's like admiring your beautiful relationship. I truly admire just the blessing it is in unity.
Yeah, absolutely. I could never. I say it to Michael all the time, especially when it was most difficult the pregnancy. That I don't know how people do it without support. Yes, number one, but then
Yeah,
without the you the person who you've made the child with, it was
yeah.
difficult.
It is. I'm like, I don't know how. I couldn't do it.
Me neither.
It's not. Even if you want, I know most people don't even want to sometimes, but it's just like, man, I definitely understand and I appreciate having
Yeah.
a significant other. And then just like seeing them like growing up with the kids and seeing like their role changes because husband and wife, that was, we just had fun. We were like, man, like we're just happy to be together. So it's like kids extra is nice, but like our relationship is like, I definitely can see how, you just enjoy your partner even with the ups and the downs and all this stuff, it's like you really enjoy them. So it's so good to have a partner that you actually enjoy and do life with, and then kids come with it and challenges come with it. But like that foundation was always there before them, and so it's been a blessing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you do you see yourself like homeschooling and all this stuff, or do you like open to whatever, however God leads, and like
Mm. I am definitely of the mindset that I think homeschool would work better,
okay,
better for what we kind of want to achieve, and just like the influence that you want to try and create around your child. So
yeah,
I'm not an expert in in like teaching, so it's going to be a learning journey for me, I'm sure. But yeah, I find it hard to think of giving the baby to someone else.
I
You're like,
know,
bye. That's not why I want to do it, it's
but
not
yeah, I know what you mean.
but
I
um
understand.
yeah, I'm really, again, part of what I wanted to always do was homeschool, so
That's
it's been
good.
in the works in my mind for years. So
Yeah, that's so good. I love that. I mean, right now it's been a challenge. It's been good, crazy, wild roller coaster, but I'm very thankful for it. Yeah, it's been interesting though. Like I definitely I think I give it off to people who actually do this. Like I thought like just like the early stages were hard, but now I'm like this is gonna be easy. No. It's not as easy as I thought. But it's good, man. I'm really, really enjoying it. And they're enjoying it, so and they're learning some things. So I'm like, it's but yeah, I agree. Like my heart towards, I think it's like how I grew up. My mom, even though we went to public school, my mom was stay at home and she actually came to for our whole elementary experience. She was in the school, volunteering her time, helping out in the classroom, doing her part. And I was just like, just seeing that, like seeing how she was, it really put something in me. Like I can do it, even though like she said to me even yesterday, she always said this to me. Oh man, I wish I knew about homeschool. If I knew about homeschool, you'd have been homeschool. I was like, nah, I'm very happy you didn't know about homeschool. And I was joking with her, like playing around. I see the die laughing, which is joke and stuff, but I'm like, I really, yeah, I would have liked to be homeschooled, but
Mm,
like that's what she knew and she did her best she could. And I was like so happy for what she did, like being
yeah,
there with us. That was beautiful. And I have nothing against like school or and like systems, like
right.
any type of schooling, because good Christian education is great. If it, if you find that in your area, then go ahead. But like I definitely like see the blessing it is. So I enjoy in it having my kids learning them, because I would not have known, especially like my some of my kids. Hanaya, I think even if she went or come, I knew her personality. But the others are not as talkative and not expressive. And to learn them, it's so good. Like you have to pull it out of them to get who they are. And if
Mhm.
if we went to school, I would miss a lot of stuff that I didn't even realize about them that I
Mm,
wouldn't have seen just like in the, little bit of time we interacted. So I'm
yeah,
just thankful. Yeah.
yeah. If I could ask you a question, Maggie, how did
Yeah.
um like come to homeschool? Like, how did you find, sorry, homeschooling children of different ages? Like, how was that process? Like adding another child to the homeschool schedule.
That is definitely hard. Thankfully, like my daughter's only in second grade, and then my son, like he's 6 now. He just turned 6 yesterday,
Hmm.
so they're still like in the earlier stages. So it's
Yeah.
a little easier, a little bit, only a little bit, because like he's really in kindergarten because it's 5. Like his, he turned 6 later on. So um prior to that, he was in preschool and he did like pretty much kindergarten already, but he still
Hmm.
have a little bit of stuff that like missing. So the point I'm saying all to say is like it was it was a little easier when one is definitely in school and the others are not really in school, but they're still
Hmm.
learning. But now that like he is in school and she's in school, and then the other in preschool and others like want to learn, it's definitely challenging. But
Yeah.
what I do is like, okay, I tell him I sit down and sometimes we do like I'll teach them one thing everyone has to learn. Like right now they're very interested in the map and the so we're learning geographic stuff and they're very interested in, that stuff and space and stuff. So we learn that all together at once. So everyone kind of have a base understanding. Some may know a little more and some may know a little less, but they all got a basic understanding. So we do that. And then after we do like a interactive reading or something together, then I
Hmm.
let each person do their part that they can do by themselves. There are some things that they can do by themselves. You need to practice writing, you need to practice reading, you need to practice writing some words, spelling, whatever you can do by yourself, you do it. And
Hmm.
then I take one child at a time. So everyone is doing something on their own, and then one child get specific time with me to learn their lesson for the day. And then I send them to do what they're doing, and then pick the next child, and then but it don't always run as smoothly, but that's just like how it is. Like if, one child at a time, I have to sit with them and help them, but then the other one has to do their independent learning. And then and then sometimes they have both have same things that they can do together or do together. But
Mm.
the little ones don't let me rest if I don't like do them. Like sometimes I'll do the two and be like so focused on them and I'll like give them some fun stuff to do, like playing or crafty stuff. And they're like, where's my turn? Where's my lesson? I was like,
Right.
yeah, okay. So I gotta stop and like give them their lesson too. And sometimes I just let them do like their lesson in like words put together as just little game lessons. And then they're like, no, we want our books. We want to do our lessons too. And I was like, okay, yeah, I gotta do it. And so
Mm.
that's like the struggle sometimes. But that's on really, really good days, which most days are kind of like that. But then other days we go to a co-op or we go to like a learning time or we go to the library and do other things. So yeah,
Yeah.
but whew, it's a juggle, but
Yeah.
it sometimes let everything stops and like the house is a mess, the food is done, but we haven't even eaten yet. Like, and then we finish school, then we clean, and then we eat and do all that stuff. So it's like, yeah.
It's full on. It's a full-time job, right?
Oh yes, definitely. So, what are some like go-to mindfulness techniques that you have tried to just help you throughout your pregnancy?
Um, so it's been different as the pregnancy's progressed. Some things I've used to find enjoyable that maybe I don't do as much now. So one thing, for example, that I like to do was not so much now because I'm getting more tired, but I like just going out of the house, like just it could just be going to Target or like going to the mall to get one thing, but then just you just mooch around and have a look. Not to necessarily buy anything, but just getting out the house was
Yeah,
helpful to me, and it was surprisingly relaxing just because it was a different scenery. Um,
yeah,
yeah, I enjoyed that. Obviously, if I could get myself to a park or somewhere a bit more nature, um, surrounded by nature, then that would be what I would do as well. Um, but now I'm very much a homebody. I like to be at home now. I like to, be
uh,
on the couch, have a blanket, have like herbal tea or something, like really like an old
yeah.
lady basically. But definitely doing things more at home. Definitely like relaxes me and helps me
That's so nice.
to myself a bit more. I
Oh, that's
like
great.
I forgot. I like doing skincare. I'm very much like skincare and not so much hair. Like I do my hair because I have to do my hair. I don't particularly enjoy doing hair, but skincare like putting on creams and things like that makes me feel happy.
That's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you talk about hair, I'm like, yeah, I do not like doing hair. And then even more so, like when you have a kid, you're like, oh, and so you're like so consumed with them. You're like,
Mm-hmm.
what about me? I don't even do it. But yeah, I
Let's
like
live.
that. And I like that you took like a honey, what was it? Not a honey, a baby. What do you call it? The
Oh
vacation before the
yes,
baby comes. What's that
yeah,
called again?
a baby moon. How could I forget?
Yes,
That was
baby moon.
epic.
That was so good. I was like, that was so thought out. Like I never really thought about doing that before. Like yeah, at least the first one, because the second one and third one you can't really. I ain't no more leaving anything. But I thought that was so good.
Yeah,
I was like,
actually, just to put a plug for that, it doesn't have to be anywhere, exotic or whatever, but just doing something where it's just you and your partner.
hmm
Going on a date night, yeah. All those things that just help you remember that you are a couple before you become a couple.
yes.
That's very,
hmm
I found that
How
very.
was it? Because I know like you went one time and then it was. I mean, we were trying to go
Oh,
and then the weather, and then the second time you actually made it. How was it?
oh yeah, it was like you don't always see it in the moment. Obviously, I'm very grateful that I didn't, end up going originally when we planned because of the hurricane. So I don't want to, be like really act spoiled and be like, oh, I wish I could have gone, even though it felt like that in the moment. But
Yeah,
finally did go. I was like, I understand, Lord, why you said no. You allowed things to happen how
yeah.
they happened earlier because you couldn't have asked for anything better. The weather was great. Everything was just great. It
Where
was.
did you go again? What island?
Uh, we spent 2 days in Saint Lucia,
Yeah,
and we flew to Barbados and spent I think it was 8 days.
nice. That
Yeah,
is so
it
nice.
was nice. I've never been to the Caribbean, so I see why everybody goes and talks amazingly about it. Beautiful.
I know. I love it. That's so nice. I mean, my kids, they went for the first time this year and they're
Mm,
like, when are we going back? I'm like, yeah, it's definitely a
yeah,
fun trip in the Caribbean. So that's so good. But that's so needed because like you can look back on those times and be like, yeah, like you said, you are a couple, you are a husband and wife before kids. You can get lost in being a parent, like mommy and daddy. I used to laugh at people like wondering, not really laugh, but wondering why do they do this? Like
Mm,
I saw like a mom call their husband daddy, and I'm
mm,
like, why are you calling them daddy?
mhm.
But now having kids, I call my husband daddy all the time because when I call him by his name, them little kids, the little one, they be calling him by his name too. And I'm just like, dude, stop doing that. But then when I call him daddy, they say daddy. And it's like, I didn't, like, that didn't dawn on me. And it didn't, like, I mean, my mom calls my dad Papa, because we say Papa for Spanish, but like, it feels so different than daddy. So she call him Papa all the time. So it didn't dawn on me, like, of course, the same thing. But, man, like, little things like that, like, he becomes Papa or he becomes daddy, like, he becomes daddy. And it's like, that's like how you can almost view them. And it's like, no, we gotta steal away. And because we're here, like we don't have like people much here that we like here watch our kids let's go on a date. We try to make like big off and like night like just have a night and we like a movie
Yeah,
or something or just like spend time or just do something fun together or like games or just like cater or just like whatever it may be. We're just gonna spend some time together. Intentional time in the evening, sometimes in the day. Just those little things go a long way. So I feel you like doing it before and after, definitely a blessing. I like
yeah.
that.
I think it just to like wrap this section up or to add to it. I think it's even more important when you've you're having a child quite early on into your marriage because like the feeling can be like we've only just because we only just
Yeah,
now we're adding another person that you can sometimes feel like you haven't got to enjoy like
each other.
the two of you. I feel
Yeah,
like but of course you'd always want you could always say that you want more, but like scheduling time out and doing things like a baby moon as people as society has called it, but just like getting away before the baby comes is especially
yeah,
if you just got married is so important.
yeah. I like that. I think it's so needed. The well, before we close out this segment, do you have any other like questions, final thoughts, anything you want to share before we close?
Um, just to encourage, the ladies who are watching, if you're pregnant or you're, on a journey to growing your family, or even if you're not, like the preparation for, motherhood starts before you become pregnant. So I
Mhm.
would say if there's anything I would like want to do more of is just the preparation beforehand. So the like looking after your body. Obviously, the weddings can be quite stressful, so having a baby quite soon after your wedding, depending how stressful your wedding was, or the
Yeah,
build up to it, you can sometimes do with just looking after yourself a bit more. But just in other areas mentally, trying to get yourself into the best place you can by God's grace. Spiritually, you want to invest in your spiritual well-being. Your views of God is something that I really had to like confront in the past couple of years. Like, what do I actually believe about God, and seeing how that
yeah,
impacts different areas of your life. So just take the time. Yes, pregnancy is wonderful, but take the time to enjoy the years before or the time before
yeah,
you have a baby the best you can. Obviously, everybody's journey is different, so I want to be sensitive to the cases where people can be trying for children for a long time and that's just what they want. um, just trust God in the process and just try and just make the best of your situation and just preparing yourself for when God opens up that door for you, I would say.
yeah. That's so good. That's really good. Because before work is so much like it's so important to be on that. Like even going through it, have you ever struggled with any kind of like oh like um iron levels or anything like
Mm-hmm.
that, or it's been good for you just in the pregnancy?
Yeah, I all my blood work before pregnancy was good. To be fair, I've always been pretty what's the word? My mum. I can't think of the word right now, but I've got a better, an illustration to better explain it. But my mum has always been very like holistic in health, so she's
Oh,
been
okay.
taking supplements and having this herb and that herb. So
Oh,
although they're not, obviously we don't rely upon them for ultimate healing or anything, but God obviously uses
yeah.
things like that. So she's definitely set me up. I can see now in a good way. But since being pregnant, I had a few tests that were done just to check my iron levels, and that was sort of declining. So I've been working on trying to replenish my iron stores in preparation. But that's a great example, Maggie, of like one thing that you can tangibly, prepare for. Things like having
Yeah.
iron stores, right, are really important
Mm-hmm.
to your energy, your strength throughout pregnancy.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely struggle with that. And every time I took superfood, that has helped a whole lot for
Yeah.
me. So I didn't struggle anymore. If I just take superfood every day, my iron levels were great. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I understand because I definitely had some dip before and I didn't even know like how to pull it up and how to get my, iron
Mhm.
levels was the only thing that really had a little struggle for me.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think it's pretty
let's
common
go.
as well. Like,
Yeah, it is definitely.
yeah.
Because you have to have more with carrying a baby. So your body is accustomed to like that, the minimum that you need. But then
Yeah.
carrying another life, even though you take prenatals, it may not like affect your body in a way that it should. Because I used to take it and it still never like build it up exactly. You might need
Mhm.
an extra push or something. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's so true. But that's so good. I'm very happy to hear that because that's one thing I did not do because I didn't even, I was thinking about babies, but I was not like preparing my body in any way. Just in life, I was like thinking like I'm gonna just be this way forever. Like I don't know. It's like I'm not sick or I just living. But then life hit me really fast when you have kids. So yeah, so that's so good. That's a good advice to take care of yourself. Even if you're pregnant right now, it's not too late to get better at just taking care of yourself. And if you're planning on it, and even if you're like me, you're 2 years postpartum and like you're done with the baby making stage, but still in the process of taking care of yourself, getting your life, your body back, so to speak, wherever. Just like yeah, I definitely think that's some good advice. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes, well, thank you so much for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you all next in my next podcast. See you guys. Bye.